What's up, guys? This is Clash of Clubs. I am at Grant's house. So
Aw,
it's one screen and two people.
that's right.
We're hoping the audio works out, and it's gonna be a short video. Dylan does come back in about 3 days, so we're just gonna get this one out the way. A little city review to start it off, and then we'll go into Chelsea preview and United and Villa shit about. So yeah, let's go with City. You're gonna start.
All right. Should I move it
No, I think
closer?
I
You're
think
good?
you're good.
All right, sweet. Um, yeah, with the City game, I thought it was pretty standard. Fulham were actually pretty good. I know they've been off to a good start, but they definitely looked the part today. Um, Jimenez, ridiculous back heel,
He's
no
back.
look
He's
to
back.
hitch dime to Pereira. But City took care of business. I don't think it was particularly like comfortable the whole time. Like they were definitely challenged a bit, but they did what they had to do. Kovacic's 2 goals. You're not going to get that every game, but you'll take it. Doku really well done on his goal. Um, yeah, so not like particularly comfortable, but it never felt like they were going to lose. I'd say just kind of 1 goal game throughout. So
Definitely.
yeah, nothing too crazy.
I did tell you yesterday that if we were gonna lose, it would be because of Adama Traore, and that definitely could have been a factor today if
Yeah.
his finishing was a little better. But we're looking like we can get exposed by pace like that and a bit of physicality in the transition. Um,
We skinned Walker.
yeah, that's one of the things that I
Absolutely.
wanted
Yeah,
to
that
say.
was crazy. Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
He had kind of like how Timo against United. He had a few wide open one-on-ones that. I told you after the first, like, no, not at any point was I, like, oh, that's a goal.
hmm
I
And
didn't expect him to put it away because that's just what we've come to know from him. But he was absolutely a threat.
he was, but with Walker, we were talking about it when he came in. He came in at the right center back, so he had Rico at the right back, Walker, Diaz, and Gavardio. So we were saying that Walker might be okay there, and right off the bat, he got skinned alive by Traore.
He was on for like 5 minutes at
Something
that
like
point,
that.
maybe.
Yeah,
That's
it
on.
wasn't good. It wasn't a good fucking
Beat him comfortably,
yeah.
very comfortably. He's
Outmuscled
getting
and
on in age.
outpaced.
He's getting
Yeah,
on in
but
age, but he
that's
still, yeah, that wasn't close. It
that
wasn't
was
close.
bad.
It wasn't close.
I think Gavardiol deserves a shout.
Yeah, he was
He was
small. He was smooth.
really good. I don't think he had many errors.
No.
Rico really good as usual.
Grealish. I liked Grealish's
Grealish was good,
performance.
yeah. Doku finally beat his under 30 fullback, so we'll take that. Take that for sure. I don't know. Overall, I don't think there's much to talk about. It's kind of
Yeah.
a boring game, but it produced goals, so I think that was okay. It wasn't a snoozer, but Fulham look good. Fulham look really good this season, and I'm excited to see what they can do.
Yeah, I think maybe it's fitness, but Smith Rowe coming off the bench, I think probably better off to start with him. But yeah, realistically, they probably aren't winning this game most of the time. So yeah, nothing new, I guess, in terms of what we learned. I think I'd like to see Gundo get a bit more up to speed, but we kind of talked about that
hmm
before we were recording. It's going to take a
Him
bit of
and
time to.
Foden, yeah.
It's going to take a bit of time to get back up to speed. They're human beings. We kind of look at them like these robots that are just top level because they're very talented, but some of these things take time, so just let him get back to a groove, give him time. He'll be really important for them. Yeah, anything else on City?
Mm, thought Ederson did well in the
Yeah,
one-on-ones.
yeah, to be
Even
fair.
though Adama didn't do great, I think Ederson did well most games. I think people expect him to let in one of those.
Mhm.
That second goal, little unfortunate. Like
Yeah,
we were talking, Stones did really poorly
it was better than that.
to step to that. He kind of stepped away and then stepped to it.
I
So
put him in my lineup last night,
yeah,
and I took out Cameron Archer. Um,
happens
Great.
to the best
It
of
does,
us.
it does. On to Chelsea.
Yeah. Yes,
So
sir.
I don't think there are as much to talk about. I'm more intrigued by the Villa United matchup. But I think for us, the big thing that I'd like to see is a clean sheet going into the international break. We had a good run. We had three in all comps at one point, and then Sanchez gives away 2 goals, and then Conference League you concede two. I thought we played well in that game, but again, it's the Conference League. You would expect them to do that. So I think the defense should really pride themselves on keeping clean sheets. I think it's super important. That's what we couldn't do at all last year. And I think there's question marks being asked of Sanchez, which is again stuff we've known. He's started off the season very well, but he just has mistakes in him. So I think this is a very important game for the defense. We lost this fixture last year 1-0 on a counter, wide open. So I don't think we score 0 goals in this game this time,
No,
but
for sure.
I just think the attack continuing to develop, connections with each other, understanding where and when to be, all that good stuff, and then just being organized in those transitions because you have guys like Alanga, guys like Hudson-Odoi, Gibbs White's really good in transition. It's a
A
dangerous
revenge
team,
game
man.
goal.
Oh, of course, you did it last
It's
year.
coming. It's
Fucker
happening.
celebrated too. I'll give it to. I like Cho. I like him. But yeah, I think we should come away with the win. I expect it. And Nkunku scored again in the middle of the week, so there are more questions to be asked there. But it's a luxury to have, especially with we're seeing all this fixture congestion. So I guess the 40-man squad's panning out. Being
It
able to
works
rotate.
if everyone's bought in.
Yeah,
And right now it seems like
early doors,
if yeah,
very early.
obviously. It seems
But
not that everyone's bought in necessarily, but that no one's really complaining,
mhm,
making the locker room a toxic place.
yeah,
So I think that that's what makes it okay to have this many people.
mhm,
Other teams are probably better off to having
yeah.
a smaller locker room where everyone can contribute like
Mhm.
week in, week out.
Yeah, I think there's guys. I mean, it's obviously not a 40-man squad. We're at about like realistically 28, 29, which is still a big squad. But being able to just fully rotate your 11, and then another thing, like you said about buying in, you can tell they're buying in because
Hmm.
these Conference League or League Cup, FA Cup, that's like you need to be able to prove it, right? Like you deserve minutes in the Prem. And I think, for example, Renato Vega was amazing in that game. He's played in a multitude of roles now at center back, left back, in the midfield, pushing up as a 10, and he's been very good in all of those. And I think although Cucurella has been good, he's proving that he's capable. And he's now getting minutes off the bench. I think Mudryk was bright in that game. Neto, I think, deserves a start against Forest. So I really like where the squad's at right now, but again, it is so early, and it's only a matter of time before you have a dip in form, and then questions come up again. The ownership, civil war, like there's always going to be something. But I think, especially to be able to go into the international break, it is really important, just for morale's sake, to just go in on a high note, and
Definitely.
just come back. You got a Liverpool game; they're not going to have Allison, but I mean that's obviously still a big game. It's not going to be easy, so you really want to go in confident. So I'd like a. Honestly, I'll take a 2-0. I really would prefer a clean
A
sheet
clean
to a
sheet.
shootout.
Yeah. I
Like,
feel like that's been
yeah,
one of your guys' biggest weaknesses this year is just maintaining the clean sheets.
mhm.
So if Sanchez doesn't even have to have like a phenomenal
Right.
game. If your
No,
defense performs well enough, they shouldn't really have that many
yeah,
chances.
yeah. I think, and again, I'm a lot more confident in that defensive setup than our rotation, which is Disasi, Tosin, Badiashile. I mean,
Hmm.
I've liked Tosin in the minutes we've seen him, but Badiashile, I don't know what happened, man. It's when he first came over with under Potter, like he looked unreal. And mind you, he's playing next to Thiago Silva,
Yeah,
or Thiago
helped a
Silva.
bit.
Nothing, nothing else needs to be said there. But ever since he just looked so shaky on the ball, which is not even that was what he was so good at, is just so sound and just knowing like his IQ, when to clear, and he's just a completely different player.
Hmm.
And I'd hope to see him get some of his form back, but played both goals on side in a conference league. So I mean, he's not like conceding 2 goals in that competition. Like the defense has to be disappointed, because again, like I said, like this is them trying to prove that they deserve to play in the Prem.
Hmm.
And Colwell has missed time with injury. Fafana obviously twice, major knee injuries. Like there's going to be opportunities that pop up, and you want to just. I mean, you got to get a clean sheet against Ghent. With all due respect, like at home, you would expect that. So,
Definitely. But I think you take the foot off the pedal
oh, for
more
sure,
when you're dominating a
hundred
game like
percent,
that.
100%,
It's a
and
principle thing at that point.
absolutely. But yeah, I don't think too much more needs to be said. I think it's early to say. People are saying Palmer's the best in the world. Chelsea are tied. It's 6 games. Absolutely need to take your foot off a bit, but I obviously love what I'm seeing, and I think we're definitely in the right direction. Speaking of not in the right direction, we have Manchester United and Aston Villa tomorrow. That game's at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So that's a shame because I'm going to be watching Chelsea Forest, but
Wait, no,
we'll
United's not
see.
at 6 a.m., is it?
There's a good game on at 6, the same time as us. Let me pull it up.
Oh, it is at 6. That
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah, I'm gonna have to double screen that thing.
Okay.
But I I don't know if I've said it on here, but I've always kind of told you, and especially Dylan too, like I don't see it with Ten Hag. I also understand it's a different club. It's a different. There's context to it, right? Like Chelsea, for example, it's normal. You know, get the next guy in, someone will figure it out. United are still missing that. There's just such a giant void ever since Ferguson left. So I understand them, clinging on to like the hope of, this is the guy we could just put him in here and get a job done. Like we'll ride through some rough patches, but like I think last year, although eighth is sackable, I also kind of understand. Okay, there were a ton of injuries. You're missing a lot of key players, but I mean, just from what we've seen this year, I'm not seeing anything to prove that this is moving in the right direction.
Hmm.
It's giving me the Poch vibes. We're just
Well,
like,
yeah. I
it's
think the
not there.
game
So
over
I
the
think, I mean,
weekend or the
this is
week,
it. Like,
yeah.
this is a huge game. Like I think if they get beat bad, it's very possible that he can be out. I think personally, it's inevitable, like end of the year at the latest. So at that point, it's like you just kind of want to cut your losses. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's really, I guess what do you think on that first before we
I
a little
think
deeper?
everything you're saying is valid. I think it'll be interesting to see Bruno's attitude going into this
He's
back to
playing, right?
yeah, he's got
Right.
back-to-back red
Exactly.
cards though in the game.
It's
So
insane.
I think we can tell a lot from his body language
Yeah.
this game because of the past two games that he's played for the team. And if he does something dumb like that again, it's going to be pretty evident that he doesn't want to play for the coach anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Weah did for the US, but on a way larger scale
Right.
because this is Man United, like we were talking about. I I just don't know who do they want? Like who are you gonna perform under? If you're gonna force this guy out, then who are you going to bring in and say this guy's so much better that we will cut the contract for Ten Hag. We'll take the financial trouble, what that comes with
I
that.
think they said around 17 million. I saw a tweet.
Okay, exactly. It's 17 million to have a guy not do his job.
Yeah, we've been
He's gonna
paying
go
Potter this whole
sit
time.
pretty.
Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna do that, and then if you don't pick right, it's gonna be the same thing in 2 years' time
Yeah.
because the fan base is expecting some guy to come around and change the culture. You have to identify that person
Yeah.
first. I don't think they've identified that person or that person hasn't come into the limelight yet. So I understand like Ten Hag isn't producing anything, but what do they want at this point? You're gonna take sack him, have an interim manager, and it's gonna be shit for the
It would probably
season.
be like Van Nistelrooy. I mean, I feel like they put him there for a
Exactly. But
reason.
like,
Yeah.
how are you gonna
Oh,
do
he's
that?
not. I don't think he would be the long term
No,
solution
of
too.
course.
I think.
They're just not gonna go anywhere if you keep restarting. You keep going back to
Yeah.
square one, you're never gonna improve.
The logic makes sense, but for me, like the way I saw it with like Pochettino, for example, last year, I just thought anybody else at this point, like
Hmm.
whatever he's doing
Well,
is
you
negatively
guys did your
impacting.
due diligence and went and got the guy
And
that actually
exactly.
panned
No,
out.
no, well, we did our due diligence when we got Poch, right? Because we fired Potter and Lampard was in as an interim. Like
Poch was
that was
more of
all.
a name compared to the other guys. I
But
feel
then
like you were
they,
taking chances on the other
but they
guys,
were
and
so
Poch was a little more of a safe one.
I think Potter got sacked in March, and so they had from March until the end of the season to find their manager, and that's what they came up with. So
Hmm.
like that was a huge mistake by the ownership group to identify him as the replacement. So they went and got an unknown commodity, relatively speaking, in terms of Maresca. They didn't go get a guy who's a big name, and already, in my opinion, there's a much more clear path, a way we want to play, and it works. It makes
Hmm.
sense with the players on our team. In my opinion, he identified all the players that weren't good enough for what he wanted to do, got them out, bar one. And I think in terms of like you said, culture, like you see when we're in conference league, all of our players are at the game supporting their teammates. Like I think that stuff's important.
Hmm.
And there's a togetherness about the squad and they're pushing each other to be better. And I think again, due time, like there's going to be a few players that aren't getting enough minutes that need to go,
Hmm.
and it can get a bit ugly at times. But I don't know. I'm a lot more optimistic there, and I just think United's big problem with where they're at now is by keeping Ten Hag, they equally invested in the transfer market. They bought his players.
Hmm.
Like
I know, I definitely
most of
agree
his
with
team
that.
is his
Yes.
players. So also, if you do sack him, like you said, what's there to work with for a new manager that wants to implement their way of playing?
Okay.
Because
Yeah. I'm
it's
glad
going
you
to be
said
Ten
that
Hag's players.
because what I think is the major issue is that when they are doing this coaching search, what criteria are they putting out there?
Yeah.
Like most teams are going to go, okay, we want to play an attacking style of football or a
Mhm.
defensive style of football. So we're going to go look at this like type of coach
Right.
who's able to produce that for the club so that the club can play its football.
Right.
Not so we pick up this coach, we take play this football, or we pick up this coach and we play this football. It's too volatile.
Yeah.
So, and what you're saying about those signings is that they are Ten Hag signings. They're not built to sustain the style of play for the club. It's trying to get what he wants going. So, like, I guess it comes back around. I guess it's going in one big circle though.
Right. Because at this
Because like
point,
you, how are you gonna
I
stack
think
them now?
right, but you
Because you
have
haven't,
to
but
because
you haven't set up
you
for
cost
anyone to
yourself
take
even
over.
more time. It's so whenever because again, regardless of what we think, we're two people sitting in a bedroom right now talking about this, and like it's. But I do think at some point he's gone by the end of the year. I don't think he's their manager in 25.
If
So
Emery gives him the slapping tomorrow, he could be
right, it
gone.
can be tomorrow.
Yeah.
So like, I guess my whole point on that is, now you have all his players. Like now what? Now what do you do? I think it's a mess, and I mean, again, they can pull it off. Like last year, they were down like 2-0 at home to Villa, and they had a crazy comeback. It was kind of nuts, but yeah, it's not looking good to me. I mean,
I got, I
oof.
don't know. I think
We should talk about Villa. We have
Villa will be all over
some
them.
playoffs.
They'll be all over them.
They've been very impressive.
Yeah.
They're keeping up. You were very high on them. I mean, I rated them, but again, I probably didn't give them the respect they deserved. I mean, they're very clearly worthy of being at this level.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Newcastle aren't, but like kind of how they came in and then dropped back down to like 10th. Again, tons of injuries. Nothing against Newcastle, but I thought Villa could have a similar, I guess, dip in form. Like it's a big high and then tough to sustain, but they look very serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw something that said like Emmy has bad games in the games that really don't matter, and then in the big games he's flawless for
Yeah.
the most part. So I think they've built the rest of the team up so that he doesn't really need to do anything. Like his mistakes can be bypassed in
Hmm.
the smaller games because the rest of the team can go get something. Durant's an automatic goal at this point. Watkins seems to have gotten going.
Yeah.
We were
No,
talking about his poor
definitely
form at the
going.
start, but now he's back.
Absolutely.
Like I have no doubt that he'll be scoring. So
Rogers is finally getting goals and assists.
Rogers
He's
is
already
getting
been
juicy.
performing all
Yeah,
year,
of
but now he's
course.
getting
But
his help.
that with him, I think it was a little bit of how I think of Doku is that like he was getting hard done by the people that he
I
was
said,
supplying.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And he's just kind of the glue to me, kind of when they're playing, like just dropping into
Hmm.
spaces, just finding, like, I kind of said the same thing about how Rico Lewis kind of plays, just filling in blanks
Hmm.
in the final third and just kind of getting everyone together and just
He's gonna
making shit work.
torch them tomorrow.
Yeah, the good, again, like when we going back on United, like I know it's just so overblown, but like style of play, like I don't see anything.
Hmm.
And those spaces are still just unbelievable between your defensive line and your midfield. Like, yeah, Porto, that was a brutal game too for them. I mean, man, like it's funny to watch, but Dylan, like I do feel bad for you. Like, you don't deserve this. Like you do deserve better, but it is still funny
The
to watch.
stray. Um,
It's no, it's
I think my prediction, Morgan Rogers, man of the match.
sick,
Ollie Watkins goal. John Duran
of
goal.
course. Ahmad consolation goal. Yeah. Give me an
Maybe.
Ahmad
Are
goal.
they gonna start Garnacho again?
I don't know why they took Rashford off at
Could
halftime
be
too.
Garnacho,
That was
Garnacho
awful.
on Digne. So or Diallo on Digne. I feel like you gotta
Madsen
go.
gets into this team
No,
soon. I think they've just been signed,
Digne's too
right?
good.
They've just been,
Yeah,
yeah. I thought he would break into the team a little quicker, but yeah,
he is good.
Digne's been really
Yeah,
good
but Digne's solid. He's experienced. He's kind of a leader in that team, I
for
think,
sure.
also. So I think
You lose a bit of
he's solidified.
physicality putting Matson in as well.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
McGinn's out, but
McGinn is out. Bailey,
he came on for Ramsey midweek and then got hooked.
he got
So
hooked.
yeah, he came on then came off. So I don't know if he's hurt.
Ooh.
He wasn't great in that game, but I don't think he was worthy of getting hooked.
Okay, let's. Okay,
Honestly, do we go Rogers, Duran, and Watkins all in the same lineup? Can we make that work? Do you think they can do that?
no, they're not going to start
You don't
Duran.
think they
There's no
start all
point.
three?
There's no
Okay.
point in starting Duran, especially once United gets tired legs from. I think Rogers actually going to run circles around that midfield. So
Yeah.
and that'll
Yeah,
cause
what's
the
that
defense to
midfield? What's
get
it
a
even
little
gonna look
clustered
like?
up. Yeah,
Bruno's probably starting,
yeah, of course.
and then Mainu. No, is he hurt still?
I have no clue.
Right, Ericsson. Ericsson's been good, but he
It's
needs a
not
lot of
gonna
defensive
work.
support
It's
there.
not gonna work against this team.
Yeah.
Onana ain't playing?
Amadou.
Yeah,
Oh, he did come off injured. Huh?
I'm checking.
Yeah, projected lineups. What do we got? What are they saying?
Onana and Tielemans.
Yeah, Tielemans has
Oh,
been surprisingly
they
good for
have
me as well.
Philogene starting.
Yeah, he started in Champions League game or
Philogene,
Philogene. What is it?
whatever.
Yeah, he's nice.
He's scoring.
So is that three for them? Is that three?
Yes,
And then what are United doing?
one.
They're scoring it.
Bruno will score it and get
I
sent
was
off.
thinking of I was thinking of penalty. I was
Will
thinking of
score
penalty.
out of frustration and then get
If
sent
someone
off.
misses a penalty, that'd be hilarious. So it's like
I could see Eddie
Gerard
saving
looks
it
erratic. It
this
just goes,
game.
yeah, Scott, and that's it's possible. But yeah, I can't wait to be wrong about everything tomorrow.
Mhm.
International break. Absolutely nothing going on.
Clips.
Pog back.
We're Pog
Yeah,
back,
that's huge.
but we're having clips.
Yeah, we're
We've
gonna.
been lacking on the clips, so
Yeah,
they're all coming out during the
yeah,
international
yeah.
break.
Dylan was really good at those. Yeah, that's on us.
We miss Dylan.
Yeah,
That
just for the clips thing though, we actually like this is more fun to record, but Dylan. No, but yeah. So Dylan, yeah, he's gonna be back for the next recording, right?
yeah,
We will be there. All right.
we'll be there.
So yeah, this is the last one. Just us two, but we tried. I hope you enjoyed this month. I thought we've had some fun
We
here.
did
We
okay.
brought on some guests. We've
Yeah.
had some good shit talking. Hopefully, we get back on track. Get we need our king. We
Yes.
need our king, Dylan.
All right. This has been Clash of Clubs for a little review slash preview. Thank you.